There is a quiet moment, often overlooked, that contains the whole of life. It might happen when you wake before anyone else, when the world is still asleep, and for a breathless instant nothing pulls you forward and nothing tugs you back. In that unguarded silence, you're not chasing anything. You're not comparing, measuring, wanting, resisting. You're simply here. And in that simple presence, something strange becomes clear. Nothing feels missing. But the moment your mind wakes up with its restless whisper, "What's next? What else? What more?" the completeness dissolves and dissatisfaction returns, like a shadow summoned by desire. We spend so much of our lives feeling like something crucial is absent, like there's a piece of the puzzle just out of reach. We think, when I fix this, when I achieve that, when they finally understand me, then I'll feel whole. But wholeness doesn't wait for a future version of you. It waits for your absence. The absence of seeking, the absence of grasping, the absence of this constant pursuit of more. The paradox is almost laughable. Nothing is missing when you finally stop looking for more, the endless horizon of more. There is a story that plays in almost every mind. You're almost there, almost successful, almost happy, almost confident, almost fulfilled. It's a story that dangles the carrot of completion just a few steps ahead, and you chase it across years, careers, relationships, even through the chambers of your own inner life. But every time you approach it, the horizon stretches further away. It must, because the idea of more can never be satisfied. If you pour water into a bucket with no bottom, you can pour for 1,000 years and it will never fill. The same is true for a mind that believes completion lies somewhere else. When you live in the belief that something essential is missing, you create a life of permanent shortage, even when you are surrounded by abundance. You could have enough money, enough love, enough opportunity, enough beauty, enough life, and still feel empty because something in you whispers, "Not enough. Not yet. Not quite." But the Stoic looks gently at this illusion and sees the joke. It's not that life is lacking. It's that the mind has forgotten how to stop reaching. You cannot taste the meal if you are already thinking about dessert. You cannot enjoy the view if your eyes are fixed on the next mountain. You cannot feel the warmth of the sun if your heart is already waiting for tomorrow's weather. More is a thirst that grows stronger with every sip. Enough is a well that appears the moment you stop drinking. The burden of the unfinished self. Perhaps you've felt this before. That hum of internal pressure. The belief that you're a project under construction. A person who must constantly be upgraded, perfected, improved. You read, you plan, you strive. All under the unspoken belief that the current version of you is insufficient. You carry the weight of your own incomplete identity as if joy is waiting at the finish line of self-reinvention. But have you noticed that no matter how much you accomplish, you remain the same observer, the same awareness, the same presence looking out through your eyes at this unfolding moment? Self-improvement is a useful tool, but it becomes a burden when it convinces you that who you are is never enough. The Stoic would tell you, you are not a broken vessel seeking repair. You are the sky seeking to fix a cloud. The cloud passes. The sky remains. The sense of incompleteness is just a cloud, a temporary weather pattern in the mind. When you stop trying to fix the sky, you realize it was never damaged. The joy hidden in plain sight. There is a kind of joy so simple that most people miss it entirely. It's not the joy of achievement, though achievement has its beauty. It's not the joy of pleasure, though pleasure can be sweet. It is the joy of simply not needing anything more than this moment to feel whole. Look around you now. The subtle air brushing your skin, the quiet rhythm of your breath, the way the light falls on the nearest object, the sound of your own being. None of these things are waiting to be improved before they can bring peace. They are enough because they are. Life isn't hiding joy in the future. It's hiding it in the obvious. But the mind, always scanning for more, skips right over it, like someone searching the world for their missing glasses while they sit on their face. The search itself keeps you from seeing. The looking keeps you from finding. The hunger keeps you from tasting. What if nothing was missing? What if everything you needed to feel alive, grounded, whole, was already quietly present exactly where you are? The Stoics weren't minimalists because they hated desire. They were minimalists because they discovered that most desire is unnecessary noise covering a deeper harmony. And when the noise quiets, you finally hear the music that was always playing, the mind that invents lack. You might wonder, if nothing is missing, why does it feel like something is? Because the mind is a storyteller, and its favorite genre is tragedy. It loves to search for flaws, to imagine what could be better, to compare, to criticize, to construct futures and pasts where life is somehow more fulfilling than right here. But this story of not enough is not an objective truth. It's a habit, an inherited pattern, a misunderstanding passed down through culture and fear, and the illusion that life must be earned before it can be enjoyed. The Stoic trains himself not to eliminate desire, but to see through the illusion that desire creates. He understands that craving more isn't a sign of genuine lack. It's a sign of a mind that's forgotten how to rest. Your mind is like a restless bird fluttering from branch to branch, unable to land because it believes there is always a better branch ahead. But the moment it stops, the moment it simply settles and feels the branch beneath its feet, it discovers the stability that was there all along. You are that bird, and life is offering you the branch of this moment, again and again, until you finally accept the invitation to land, the subtle violence of always wanting more. Most people don't realize how aggressive the search for more truly is. Not aggressive in the physical sense, but in the spiritual, psychological, and emotional sense. Every time you reach for more, you're pushing against the present moment. You're quietly telling life, what you're giving me isn't enough. You may not say the words, but the energy is unmistakable. It's the heaviness you feel when you scroll endlessly through your phone, looking for something you can't name. It's the tension in your chest when you feel like you're falling behind compared to people you've never even met. It's the restlessness that creeps in the moment things become still, whispering, do something, change something, fix something, become something. This constant reaching is a form of inner violence, a soft, subtle, socially accepted violence, but violence nonetheless, because it denies the worthiness of this moment, of this breath, of this life. It denies the simple miracle of being here at all. When the Stoic says, desire nothing, and you will lack nothing, he's not telling you to renounce the world. He's telling you to renounce the habit of rejecting the moment. He's inviting you to drop the quiet hostility toward what already is, so you can finally see that nothing essential is absent. You may still work, create, build, dream, but without the poison of more, without the belief that your joy depends on something you do not yet have, the wealth you already carry. Consider your life as it is now, not as it should be, not as you fear it might become, not as it once was, just as it is. The breath moving in and out of your body, the awareness behind your eyes, the ability to feel, to think, to notice, to experience. You woke up today. Trillions of processes in your body worked in flawless harmony without your command. You are surrounded by air that offers itself without asking for anything. You have the ability to perceive beauty, in color, in sound, in texture, in light. You can love, you can learn, you can reflect, you can laugh, you can choose. These are not small things. They are the foundation upon which every form of joy rests. But the mind dismisses them because it is too busy inventing new cravings. It feels incomplete because it keeps comparing the present moment to imaginary scenarios that don't exist. The Stoic trains himself to recognize the wealth already present, the wealth that cannot be taken, because it is woven into the fabric of your very being. You don't need more to feel whole. You need less wanting. You don't need more life. You need more presence in the life you already have. This is the quiet luxury that no amount of wealth can buy. The moment you stop searching, there is a shift that happens in the mind when you stop searching for more. It's subtle at first, a soft exhale, a quietness beneath the noise, a loosening of something you didn't realize was clenched. Then comes a sense of space, a sense that life doesn't need to be rearranged before it can be lived. You begin to see that the search for more was never about the world. It was about your relationship with it. Because once the searching stops, you discover not a perfect life, but a perfect moment. This moment, stripped of expectation, stripped of judgment, stripped of the endless pursuit that once clouded it. When you stop looking for more, you finally have the eyes to see what's already here. The breeze you used to ignore feels alive again. The sound of distant laughter touches something warm inside you. The ordinary objects around you gain a strange, gentle significance. The weight you carried begins to dissolve. You realize that enough is not a condition of the world, but a decision of perception. And the moment you make it, life becomes abundant in ways you never imagined. The ego that feeds on more. Who is it that always wants more? More success, more recognition, more certainty, more admiration, more proof of worth. It is the ego, the fragile identity that believes it must constantly earn its right to exist. The ego is terrified of being ordinary, of being overlooked, of being unremarkable, of being simply human. So it demands more as a way to protect itself. But the ego forgets something vital. You were worthy before you were successful. You were enough before anyone approved of you. You were allowed to exist without earning the right. The ego's hunger is infinite because it is based on fear, and fear has no natural endpoint. But you, the deeper you, the observer behind the identity, do not need more. You need only to remember what the ego keeps forgetting, that life does not require justification. It only requires participation. You don't have to become significant. You already are, not because of what you achieve, but because you are a conscious expression of a universe that saw fit to bring you into being. The ego says, more will make me whole. Life says, you were whole before the asking, the Stoic quietude of enough. The Stoics lived with a kind of inner quiet that modern minds rarely taste. A quiet that says, what I have is enough. What I am is enough. This moment is enough. This is not resignation. It's liberation. Because when you no longer need more to feel complete, you become free to enjoy what is here without fear of loss. You become free to act from clarity instead of desperation. You become free to choose without the pressure of proving anything. This is the quietude that arises not from poverty but from abundance. Not abundance of possessions, but abundance of perception. Nothing is missing when the mind stops insisting that something should be different. Nothing is lacking when the heart stops waiting for a different moment to begin living. Enough is not a condition. Enough is a state of being. And once you enter it, you discover the truth the Stoics knew well. The richest person is the one who needs the least, the gift of unmet desire. There is a quiet truth many overlook. Sometimes the very thing you think you want is the thing that keeps you from peace. Unmet desire is not always a failure. Often, it is a gift. Because desire, by its nature, creates a gap, a space between what is and what I think should be. And in that gap lives tension, restlessness, unease. This is why the Stoics so often said that desire is not wrong, but dangerous when misunderstood. You aren't suffering because you lack something. You're suffering because you believe the lack should not exist. But what if it's meant to be there? What if the absence is part of your growth, part of your character, part of your liberation? The universe is not withholding from you as punishment. Often, it is withholding because you are not meant to build your life on that particular more. And if you had gotten every single thing you ever wanted, you would be overwhelmed, lost in abundance, confused by the collision of too many possibilities. Instead, life gives you just enough, not for comfort, but for clarity. Just enough struggle to deepen you, just enough uncertainty to awaken humility, just enough simplicity to help you see what truly matters. The gift of unmet desire is that it teaches you to stop outsourcing your peace to the future. It invites you to live now without waiting for circumstances to align with your preferences. And ironically, that is the moment life begins to feel remarkably full, the beauty of ordinary moments. We are so often hypnotized by the search for extraordinary experiences that we become blind to the miracle of the ordinary. The mind says, "This is too simple, too familiar, too plain. Give me something more." But the heart knows that life reveals its deepest beauty in small, unremarkable moments. Moments so ordinary that only a quiet mind can truly appreciate them. Consider the warmth of sunlight on your face in the morning, the sound of your footsteps echoing on a quiet street, the first sip of water when you are thirsty, the way the air smells after it rains, the feeling of laying down after a long day. These are not small things. They are the very fabric of being alive. And yet, when you are looking for more, you trample right over them, chasing fantasies that never quite deliver. The Stoic is not blind to the simple pleasures of life. On the contrary, he sees them more clearly than anyone else because he is not distracted by endless wanting. He doesn't need magnificent events to feel gratitude. He finds meaning in the bowl of food before him, in the quiet breath in his chest, in the presence of a friend, in the steadiness of his feet touching the ground. Ordinary moments are where life hides its treasures, but you only see them when you stop looking for something better. The prison of comparison. Nothing fuels the illusion of missing more than comparison. You look at someone else and think, they have more, they are more, they've achieved more. But this comparison is built on a fantasy, your idea of their life, not the reality they live. You compare your internal world with their external appearance, your insecurities with their confidence, your behind the scenes with their highlight reel. Comparison creates artificial scarcity. It convinces you that you are lacking because someone else is shining. But life is not a competition for fulfillment. Your enough is not measured against anyone else's excess. The Stoic sees comparison as one of the mind's greatest traps. He knows that the moment you measure yourself against another, you stop living your own life and start living someone else's shadow. You lose sight of what makes your path unique. You overlook the strengths you do have. You dishonor the life that has been entrusted to you. Nothing is missing from your life just because someone else's life looks different. Comparison blinds you to your own abundance. Gratitude reveals it. Acceptance, the gateway to wholeness. Acceptance is not giving up. It is not settling. It is not complacency. Acceptance is seeing reality clearly without the fog of judgment. It is saying, this is what is here. This is what life is offering me. Let me meet it fully instead of resisting it with fantasies of what should be. Acceptance is the end of inner conflict, and inner conflict is what makes life feel incomplete. When you accept the moment as it is, you are no longer divided between what is and what I demand. You become whole again. This wholeness is not the result of changing your circumstances. It is the result of changing your relationship to them. The Stoic is not free because his life is perfect. He is free because he stops arguing with reality. And when you stop arguing with reality, nothing is missing because nothing is being rejected. Acceptance clears the mind and opens the heart to the richness of now. It is the doorway to the recognition that you already have what the seeker is chasing. You just have to stop to notice it. The art of wanting less. There is a beautiful paradox at the heart of Stoic wisdom. When you want less, you enjoy more. Not because you force yourself into minimalism, not because you suppress your desires, but because you no longer cling to them as conditions for happiness. You live lighter, you breathe easier, you appreciate more deeply, and you realize that the fewer things you require for peace, the more peaceful you become. This is not deprivation, it is liberation. When you stop needing life to be a certain way, you start seeing life as it truly is. Vast, generous, miraculous. The art of wanting less is the art of opening your eyes. And when your eyes open, the abundance that was always here reveals itself in full. Nothing is missing because nothing was ever absent. It was only obscured by the fog of wanting. The moment you realize you already have what you need. There comes a moment, quiet, unannounced, soft as a leaf landing on still water, when you suddenly see that the life you've been waiting for is the life you're already living. Not the romanticized version of it, not the ideal future projected by your desires, not the fantasy shaped by comparison, ambition, or longing, but this one, this ordinary, breathing, imperfect moment. The mind resists this truth because it believes meaning must be dramatic and beauty must be spectacular. But wholeness does not arrive with fireworks or revelations. It arrives when the mind stops running long enough to notice the softness of the world as it is. It arrives when you finally understand that more was never the answer. Because wholeness is not found in accumulation. It is found in presence. And the moment you step fully into this breath, this heartbeat, this single point of awareness, you feel something shift. Not dramatically, but unmistakably. A sense of completeness that doesn't depend on anything being added or removed. A sense that nothing is missing, not because life is perfect, but because you've stopped rejecting the moment you are actually living. This is the quiet revolution the Stoics spoke of. The revolution that happens not in the world, but in the mind. And it begins the moment you stop looking for more. You were never broken. One of the deepest illusions is the belief that you are incomplete. This idea, so common, so unquestioned, creates endless suffering. You tell yourself, I need to be better. I need to achieve more. I need to fix myself. I need to become someone else to be worthy. But look more closely. Where did this belief come from? When did you decide that you were lacking? You weren't born doubting yourself. You weren't born feeling incomplete. You weren't born chasing more. You learned it. From culture, from comparison, from fear, from the narratives around you that thrive on scarcity. But the truth is far simpler. You are not a broken object waiting for repairs. You are a living expression of a universe that is constantly changing, evolving, becoming. You grow, you stumble, you learn, you shed layers, you rise again. None of this means you are incomplete. It means you are alive. The Stoic does not seek to perfect himself in order to be whole. He sees that wholeness is already present beneath the noise of wanting. He knows that the belief in missing is the only thing that truly needs to be let go. When you stop looking for more, you stop looking for the self you imagined you must become. And in that moment, you rediscover the truth you've been carrying from the very beginning. You were never broken, only distracted. When you stop moving, life can catch up to you. There is a way of living that most people never experience, a way of being not driven by urgency, restlessness, or the constant need to get somewhere else. It is the way of stillness. Not physical stillness only, but inner stillness, the kind that allows life to catch up to you. When you are always chasing more, you are always ahead of yourself. Your body is here, but your mind is there. In the future, in imagination, in desire. But the moment you stop, truly stop, something miraculous happens. Life, which you thought was withholding from you, finally reaches you. You feel the sun in a way you haven't felt in years. You taste your food without rushing through the moment. You hear the subtleties in someone's voice that you never noticed before. You see beauty in ordinary things that once seemed invisible. You do not need more to feel alive. You need less distance between you and your own existence. Stillness removes the distance. Stillness reunites you with the life you've been too busy to feel. The Stoics knew this. They practiced it deliberately, not as escapism, but as alignment with nature. Because nature is never in a hurry. It unfolds. It flows. It completes itself by simply being what it is. And when you join that rhythm, you discover the truth. Life is not asking you to chase it. It is asking you to meet it. And nothing is missing when you finally do. The deepest freedom. Freedom is not achieved by acquiring more options, more achievements, more validation, more possessions. That kind of freedom always requires maintenance, fear of loss, and constant comparison. The Stoics' freedom is far simpler, far purer, far more profound. It is the freedom from needing anything more than this moment to feel complete. A person who needs little is impossible to enslave, not by society, not by desire, not by fear. When more loses its grip, your peace is no longer negotiable. You become unshakable not because life is easy, but because your happiness is no longer dependent on external conditions. You find freedom in the place you never thought to look, within the silence that blooms the moment you stop wanting. The closing meditation, returning to enough. Before we close, I invite you to enter a brief moment of presence. If it's safe, allow your eyes to soften or gently close. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the ground supporting you. Feel the breath moving in and out without any effort. Notice that life is happening on its own. You do not have to earn this breath. You do not have to deserve this moment. You do not need to become anything to be allowed to exist. Now consider this question, not as a thought experiment, but as a doorway. What if nothing is missing? Not someday. Not after you fix yourself. Not after the future arrives. Not after you gain more, achieve more, understand more. What if nothing is missing right now? Feel the possibility of that. Feel the spaciousness. Feel the relief. Let the search rest. Let the wanting loosen. Let the tension soften. This moment is whole. This breath is enough. This life is already full in ways the mind has only begun to notice. You do not complete life by adding more to it. You complete life by finally showing up to it. And when you stop looking for more, you find something far greater than everything you once sought. Peace, presence, sufficiency, wholeness. Nothing is missing because nothing was ever absent. You only needed to stop chasing possibility long enough to feel the perfection of what already is. Breathe. Be here. Let this moment be enough. Because it is. And you are.